Once, you could hear nature's symphony in this place. Now, it is quiet.
You can make some animal noises if it will make you feel more at home.
You bleat well enough as it is.
The very plates of the earth have been shattered by the magic of the Shadow Curse. Utterly fascinating. Unless you happen to be standing on it, of course.
What's hiding here?
She was no fun. All I wanted was to play! Someone new. Maybe they... I saw it! Nobody beats me at hide and seek.
That's him. Like an echo of Thaniel, remolded by the curse. We need him if we're to put a stop to all of this.
Will you play with me? Spoil sport. I'm not going back. I like it here. I've made a family for myself. I get to play all the time. Not harder. Impossible. I don't want to play with you anymore.
He's scarpered. We'd better track him down if the shadows don't stop us first.
Strike you down.
One can't always be a gentleman.
Let's finish this. Take your...
Want to play? Let me show you my favorite toy.
Swords meet sorcery.
Bleed for me. Take you.
Unleash me. Mine is the advantage. Roll in my favor.
Why couldn't you just leave me alone? Why can't I just stay here, playing? I had everything I've ever wanted, right here! And you've ruined it. I'm not leaving. You can't make me.
Be gentle. He's much more than a child. But he doesn't truly know that.
He's nothing to me. He left me here all this time. I had to do everything for myself. Even when it was scary, even when I was alone. I didn't give up. But would he even want me back? I've changed. A lot. So I wouldn't have to be alone anymore. He'd stay with me. Play with me. I'd like that. And he would too, I think. All right, I'll do it. I want to do it.
Well done.
Are you crying? You're a bit big to be crying. But I suppose that's okay. Bye. And thank you for playing with me.
It's done, at last. Soon the land will be unshrouded.
All's well that ends. Not as...
Ketheric Thorn shown in Selûnite
Is that a click I heard? There's something
that
about these
turncoat
packs.
hasn't bowed to.
The druid Halsin spoke to me while I was sleeping. He spoke of you. Said that you fought shadow and spike to restore me. 100 years of sickness almost ended. I feel every root that riddles the earth beginning to unfold. But there is one anchor, still holding the shadows in place. The soul that brought it into being, for the land to heal. Ketheric Thorn must die.
Oakfather preserve you. Only by reputation. She was present when we marched against Ketheric Thorn, but on the far end of the battle lines from where I fought. And in the chaos that ensued, well, our forces were scattered. I led some to safety, but never learned of her fate. I'm glad to hear she survived. Though in truth, I should not be surprised. She was always said to be formidable and cunning. I could have learned much from her, no doubt. No matter how long I live, I will always strive to remain a keen pupil. Only a fool would think he could drink in all. I cannot help but wonder how she would have handled some of the challenges I faced as Archdruid. At least now we can benefit from her presence, and perhaps work to a common goal. Honestly, I never thought I'd make it that far. So, I'll remain with you. If you'll have me, that is. So do I. But one duty at a time.
These lands may not be under the thrall of Lady Shah for much longer. No matter. She wishes for Ketheric Thorm to be punished. Her darkness was a blessing offered before he betrayed her. She can redirect her powers elsewhere once he is cast down.
Dog wags his tail. A small bag. He gives in and surrenders his fart. Scratches tongue.
Back! Hope you're keeping well, friend.
Oakfather preserve you. Wherever you need me, I'll be right here.
Halsin's proved himself a fine ally already. He'll be useful in battle. It is done.
Ketheric's soul still...
Oakfather preserve you. Druids and Harpers joined together to put a stop to Ketheric Thorm. Even in defeat, though, Ketheric turned to Shah. Not long after then it started to claim all those within its reach. Those who had survived the... I wanted to try and find him, but we couldn't stay. We would have all succumbed. That was my first day as Archdruid. An inauspicious beginning. You are right, but I must not lose focus until everything has been put right. I've wasted too much time already.
I don't believe it. They can't be.
Breathe, child. Resist not the winds of change. Let them carry thee.
No.
Listen! Dost thou not hear it? Where creation meets ruin, where morning meets midnight, the root of all being. Balance.
They're dead. I can't. Balance.
Your very soul is tangled in shadow. Arabella's magic, wild as cursed briar. Her talent is now yours, too.
The girl must learn the ways of the arcane, but she shan't remain here. The weave knows her purpose. It will guide her plainly, if she listens. Arabella holds a power beyond reckoning. That of the decaying forest and the seedling that bore it. But it is unbalanced. Her yoke is already heavy. If she walks thy path, it will surely break. Arabella will depart once thou dost leave these accursed lands.
Bowman, you're making me leave.
Fear not, girl. Abandon not the weave, and it shall not abandon thee.
You feel the grief fade as if it were your own. There is a lightness in her now, veiling the power within, soothing it.
Is that my future? Is that why they died?
It is.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Bowman, for being nice. If there are people like you around, perhaps everything will be all right.
Fate, dost thou require a new ally?
That's far enough.
His thoughts invade your own, probing for purchase. Your parasite purrs in recognition.
Ah, One blessed like myself. What news, true soul? General Ketheric's advisor went off on a field trip. Zarel's in charge till he gets back.
You'll find Zarel in the audience chamber, true soul. She'll be wanting to hear from you.
If it's an audience she desires, an audience let us provide.
Praise the Absolute.
Not to diminish our efforts.
We are
To be so favored and so blessed.
No doubt. This is the place. This is where we'll discover the secret of the Absolute.
Another true soul. The disciple will want to see you. Through the main doors.
Can't hear a damn thing in there. Why? Because you're not meant to. True soul business. Not for us.
To draw my weapon. Pick up every last one of these cultists.
You're keen. Just don't get carried away. Some of those guts might be of use to us unspilled. At least for a while.
I know better than to indulge every craving, Shadowheart. But when the time is right, the Absolutists will feel the sting of my blade.
I'm not worthy. I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you fully formed. Can you hear her?
Of many hearts. Of many thoughts. One mind.
Chosen blood. Now that.
Something slimy seems to be dripping from the rafters above.
Must have come in with the Dryder, did ya? Well, you're in good time. General Ketheric's in the main hall. Don't say I didn't warn you.
If you have coin, then show it.
Get moved.
You're one of her blessed, aren't you?
Pray with me while we wait.
I'm not worthy.
Why am I here? Considering all that is at stake. How close we are to the conclusion of our efforts. I ask you again, why am I here?
I will not be slandered! General, you saw my reports. You know it's not my fault.
The facts suggest otherwise. You failed to do so.
If I had been given drow warriors instead of goblin trash!
Oi! What?
You scrag!
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling pulse, worms, urging you to obey.
Let me make sure I understand this. You're claiming that General Thorm gave you the wrong soldiers?
Yes. No!
You blame the Absolutes chosen for your failure?
Of course it is not the General's fault.
Whose then?
Your mind extends outward and grasps at nothing. In Ketheric's place, you feel an absence. No psionic power. No tadpole at all.
The goblins! They failed me.
You lying little!
And what would you do to those that have failed you?
They are put to death, obviously.
True. Ultimate failure must earn ultimate punishment. Night Warden Minthara, your crime is incompetence, and your sentence is death.
No!
Make her passing slow, Disciple Zorel. Be creative. A new, true soul come to share their wisdom? And what do you have to... A pity, then, that her faith was so inadequate. Take her below.
No! Please! Mercy! Please!
Bye-bye, princess.
Kill the goblins, too.
What? No!
You creaking old bag of shit!
sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever.
Try again. You see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use. You have far more important matters to attend to. Or have you forgotten?
Of course not, my lord. Thank you. You heard the General. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish. Do. Have fun. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake! Oh, praise the Absolute! And praise her true soul!
Zarel won't be pleased about this. She strikes me as the type to enjoy a little bloodshed.
The seat of the Absolute's power, occupied by a general that cannot be killed. But his followers are flesh and blood. We must learn what fuels his power.
All that is at stake.
Forgive me.
How close I would have for the conclusion of our efforts. I ask you again,
Such a creature.
why
We are each of us threads in her design. Even those we once called monsters.
I don't know nothing about any of this.
I will not!
The facts that
If I...
Oi! What?
Enough!
A blast of mental energy.
Let me make sure.
Yes. No!
You blame the Absolutes chosen for you.
Of course it is not the General's fault.
Whose then?
Zarel's mind is a steel trap, but you cautiously ease your way in. You just need to shift her focus a little.
I'm being unkind. Anyone might have struggled with such imperfect tools. Goblins are prone to failure.
Yes. It's the Goblin's fault. Not me.
General?
Take Minthara below. Someone will have to consider her fate.
No! Please! Mercy! Please!
Bye-bye, princess.
And the goblins, General.
You, true soul. You have seen what these creatures are capable of, and you have seen their inadequacies, isn't that so? What is your judgment?
You know I'm loyal. Tell him.
Enough! True Soul, tell the General how the goblins served our cause.
See? What I...
Faith without action is anemic, sickly. In a word, we are too close to the ending. And the new beginning. Kill them, quickly.
What? No! You creaking old bag of shit!
I'm so sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
Try again.
No! No!
Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use.
Of course not, my lord. You heard the General. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish. Do. Here in the...
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake! Oh, praise!
Your merciful streak will be the death of us one day. Let's hope Zarel...
The seat of the Absolute's power, occupied by a general that cannot be killed. But his followers are flesh and blood. We must learn what fuels his power.
many hearts.
You were adored, Minthara. Brought up from the darkness and into the Absolute's light.
She cherished you, but it wasn't enough. You were distracted by your own desires.
Bloodlust, murder, chaos.
Most damning of all, an inability to follow orders.
I obeyed to the best of my ability!
And isn't that depressing?
You are nothing.
The drow reaches out to you psychically, connecting with you for a moment. She is infected like you, and her mind is disintegrating.
Come to observe, true soul. She is a lesson. None can rise so high that they cannot fall again. We are erasing her. No, this is our duty.
Peace, sister. Let us observe the true soul's methods. Perhaps we can learn from them. Her mind is yours. Break it.
Immediately, your mind is swept into a greater vortex. A psionic storm with Minthara at its center.
Cannot hide, submit, embrace.
Her torturers are not dominating her. They are destroying her mental defense. Something else. The Absolute. navigating the storm, you reach the nexus of her mind. It is a wound, bleeding raw emotion and shattered memories. But she senses your arrival.
So it is you who will end me. Make it swift, then. And... that voice! I would prefer to make these bastards bleed. But I trust that you speak from caution rather than cowardice. I will put my faith in you and pretend to be their slave.
Her mind fills with warmth, and she gently...
Is it done? I did not feel her mind break.
No! My sister only meant to compliment your delicate work.
Indeed. Seems I have a bit to learn yet. We ought to return to our posts, sister. There'll be plenty more prisoners to practice on.
An ill thing to let an enemy live. Prudent. Let us go, then. I will be your mute and faithful slave. For now.
In a cell, you have some explaining to do. You avoided a fight this time, but bullying your way out of Moonrise is a risky proposition.
I would have preferred to bleed them.
Halt!
Deal with them, or I will.
We heard she'd been escorted from her cell.
The General ordered that she be repurposed, not freed. The General ordered that she be repurposed, not freed.
Apologies, Trousseau. Perhaps I misunderstood the General's orders.
For the Absolute.
I last left Moonrise as a commander in the Absolute's army, obeying the voice of a god. I thought I had found a home and a purpose. Now I leave as an exile. But you risked your life to rescue me. For that, I am grateful.
The artifact connects with her, pulling your minds together. The prism, your dream visitor, the protection that keeps you from obeying the Absolute and becoming a Lithid. She knows it all in a moment. Her mind reels, but is no longer clouded. She accepts the truth. She has no choice.
There is much we must discuss. Do you have a safe place to camp? Goodbye for now. I will see you soon.
see any movement out there.
Too dark to...
It does not compare with the comforts of home, but your camp is almost palatial in comparison to my previous accommodation. Thank you for allowing me to come here, and for bringing me back to myself. Each memory that returns to me is more disturbing than the last. The things that I did in the name of the Absolute. The things that... they broke my mind. Precisely. While our tadpoles live, and the cult have the means to control them, we will never be safe. We must eradicate them, starting with General Thorm. I mean Ketheric. My deference to him is a habit that will die hard, I fear. All that live can die. I can help you plot Ketheric's demise, but I need something from you first. Swear that you will keep me close. Until the Absolute is dead, at least. The Prism will protect me. You will fight alongside me and help me to get my vengeance. I knew you were different to other true souls when we met, but I could see nothing clearly. Now, thanks to the Prism, the Absolute does not cloud. I see that together, we can have our vengeance on those who infected us. Rest well, and keep your wits about you. Tomorrow, we go to war with the cult of the Absolute. General Thorm would have the world believe that his invulnerability is a gift from the Absolute. That is a lie, intended to impress those who flock to the cult's cause, and to strike fear in the minds of those who stand against the Absolute. I believe Thorm draws his power not from a divine source, but an arcane one. Moonrise is a den of necromancy, and the most powerful practitioner of the art is Thorm's closest advisor, Balthazar. He has chambers beside the generals, on the upper floor of the tower. I suspect we will find answers there. Now, rest. We will need our strength for what lies ahead. I would gladly join you in the fight. Leave one of your other allies here, and I shall.
The drow is up. Are you sure that's the best course of action? Confirm.
You wish to consult me? Good. I do not like to... Yes?
Never a dull moment.
Our enemies are everywhere.
No one's stopped me yet.
You wish to consult me? I was the Absolute's dagger. I remember every throat that it held me to, and every drop of blood it forced me to spill. I take no responsibility for the lives I took. I did nothing in the Absolute's name. I was merely a weapon that it wielded. I would rather die than endure it again. The tadpole, the Absolute. They work together like a drug. I did not feel I was compelled to act against my will. I felt ecstatic to serve. Every action seemed a deliberate choice. The best choice. More have resisted its commands than flesh can resist decay. Even rational minds like ours cannot reject such a powerful influence. The Absolute can make the impossible seem inevitable.
I fought at his side once, shortly after my conversion. Before the battle, he was everything a general should be. A charismatic leader with a brilliant strategic mind. And when the fighting began, he led his troops from the front and cut through the enemy like a scythe through stalks. Blows and arrows rained down on him, and before long, his face was a mask of blood. But he did not fall. When we won the day, Ketheric's armor was bent and shattered, but his flesh was unmarked. I have lived long enough to know that few things are impossible in this world. Oh, Ketheric's power is a rare thing, though. I have never seen its like. The necromancer Balthazar is Ketheric's chief advisor. One who has mastery over the dead may well be able to help the living cheated. We should ransack his chambers and see what secrets he keeps for the great general. I took up my oath long ago, when I swore bloody vengeance against any who defied Lolth. Now, I myself have sinned against the Spider Queen. Though my faith is shattered, my oath endures. I am sworn to destroy all those who serve the Absolute. It is not noble, it is necessary. If we do not destroy the cultists, they will destroy everything. We are all that stands between this world and annihilation. A disparate collection of vagabonds and strays. Did you have anyone particular in mind? It would have been better for us had she embraced Shah and claimed the power of the goddess. But it is better for Shadowheart to be free of that poisonous influence. The very concept of Sharan worship is self-indulgent. They would have you think every whispered word and hidden thought is of value. Not so. I have performed 1,000 interrogations, squeezing out the most guarded secrets held in heart, mind, and soul. I can tell you this. When the trivial parts have been whittled away and I have sifted through what remains, in most cases, a person amounts to nothing at all. He's been deprived of freedom and strong blood for so long that he is addicted to both. While those addictions have their hold on him, he is still a slave. And while you live, you'll be enslaved to your appetites and hungers. We all feel. But Astarion is not only bound to his needs and desires. He will only be free when Cazador is dead. And that, when the time comes, we must hope that he does not only take Cazador's long life, but the power that has sustained him as well. I have encountered few Githyanki in my life. Those that I did were raiders. They croaked out pleas for mercy in their alien tongue as they died. Meeting Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more of their culture. Whatever culture you and I once shared, it no longer has a hold on me, Lolthsworn. You still listen to the whispers of the Spider Queen's web. Most Gith do not seem to know their own hearts, nor do they need to. They have strict... Some, like Lae'zel, question that cause. But even so, she retains the discipline of her training. The wizard? No. Their mastery of the weave is commendable, but they are poor conversationalists. In my experience, they do not usually live long enough to make the effort of befriending them worthwhile. Either the enemy recognizes they are a threat and kills them swiftly, or their curiosity leads them to combust while experimenting with the limits of magic. Our wizard is already in a state of suspended combustion, thanks to that orb between his ribs. I suspect it is only a matter of time before he goes up in smoke. I will reserve my social graces for those who might live long enough to appreciate them. He is exceedingly self-righteous. Amusing. To a devil. Will doesn't just have blood and dirt on his hands. He has stains on his soul. Those last more than a lifetime. It is as it should be. Purity of soul and deed will not help us to survive the Absolute. I would rather be allied with a warlock than the spoiled son of a noble who has more experience with diplomats than devils. I have never known anyone so ferocious and unassailable in battle, and yet so fragile and impermanent in their very being. I often think of mortality as a curse. In time, all that I am and all that I have known and learned will be lost. In time, our cities will be dust. Karlach does not seem to have such anxieties. She exists in the moment, and she will burn out and be gone in a moment. There is something very beautiful about that.
If Bowman says I'll be all right, I wish it was different. I wish Mum and Pops was here. I hope so.
Fate, dost thou require a new ally?
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Gale of Waterdeep. He wishes to extend you an invitation for a private conversation in a more suitable locale.